coaching. Now, we've got a few people jumping on, which is really good. Today, we're going to be talking about how to buy and flip websites here. Please say hello and let me know that you're here in the chat box, and then start dropping any questions that you do have into the chat box. I'm really looking forward to this one. There's going to be so many little nuggets that I'm going to share that have a whole things. I'm just very to the point, and that's what this coach hearing your questions and just getting stuck in. So please, box, let me know and ask me any questions you do have. First thing to start and flip websites. Like, I have a lot of content created around this, and you can find a lot of the answers within different. We're mostly talking about content websites. And the reason I tell you that is because there's different places you can go for different types of business models and sites. There's specific brokers, a mix of different businesses as well as content sites. You can go making money through ad revenue, affiliate revenue, usually, and or a combination of both. And sometimes they may be selling info courses as well. So we'll be sticking to that flip all different types of online businesses. And I've done this myself. Think about, I haven't upwards, and then flipper as well. You know what you're looking for. If you don't, a lot of people have been taken advantage of, and it's not the person that's selling yet. These people shouldn't be selling dud businesses that are going for ourselves and know how to do. First thing about flipping a website, flipping sites, or about in your online business space. The first thing to note about flipping a site is what I've learned in many areas of investing. First, in real estate and in stocks and in different and investing in anything, the profit is in the purchase. That's one thing that you want to take note of. The profit is in the purchase. Now, why I say the profit is in the purchase is because I've found that a lot of people that submit websites for me, we knock back a lot. People that are in the buying online business community where we teach people to buy sites. I review all the sites before people go away and even make an offer to make sure nobody's buying a dud business or a lemon. But from all of these businesses people are submitting, is there so many that are going either flat or sort of backwards, and some that are just dropping off a cliff completely. And what I find is you can buy those types of websites and you can flip them. But usually to reverse trends takes more energy and effort than it does take to have a site that's going flat in traffic and earnings and increase it. Because what you have to do is you have to reverse the trend, get it to flat, and then get it back up to ultimate scale and growth. And there's a lot more time, effort, and energy that goes into that. So can you pick up some things for a bargain? Of course you can. And those people that are buying sites that are going backwards, I would say, even if you are a professional investor and you have a high level expertise in investing, I'd still say that, look, you can do it, but aren't your efforts better spent on something that's just stable and slightly growing up, because you'd be able to get better rewards from it? Of course, some people don't like to take my advice and like to invest in a different way, and they like to go away and pick up a bargain and pick up a business that's really, really cheap. I personally don't like that. I believe that it's better to buy a really, really good business. I stick with the Warren Buffett quote, which you've probably heard me say a gazillion times. It's better to buy a good business at a fair price than a fair business at a good price. So the profit is in the purchase. And when you buy well, it makes growing the site that much easier. And I'm not just talking about the trend. I'm talking about all the aspects that are involved with the business. For example, if the content is really, really good, that's great. You only need to update a few pieces of content every year or every quarter or how often you do it. But if you're buying a site that has a decent trend, but the content is not amazing, it's going to be costly to flip, because by the time you hold that content website and own that content for a year, it's most likely getting more and more and more outdated. So when you come time to put it up for sale, if you haven't updated that content, then that's going to be a negative thing in the eyes of somebody who's purchasing it, if they know how to identify these things. Secondly, choosing what business model that's right for you is really important, and for where you're at, what level you're at. Some people are looking for, and I did say we're talking about content websites, some people are looking for a site that's under the $10,000 range. Some people are looking for a site that's over that. Some people are looking for a site that is affiliate content. Some people are looking for info content where they have ad revenue or they make ad revenue. And I think you should choose what is the best middle business model for you. If you understand how to, and you're going to write the content yourself, that is, if you understand how to write affiliate content really well, then maybe go for that type of business. If you know how to write info article really, really well, maybe go for that type of business. Or if you already know great writers in those different sectors, then go for a business that you already have leverage in, you already have understanding. Of course, if you're a complete beginner, I wouldn't stress too much, because when you do buy a good website business, like I said, the profit is in the purchase. Usually you can leave the business for a little while and there won't be any drastic changes. You could leave a business for up to 6 months and there won't be any changes. For example, I bought a business, done nothing, a content website, done nothing with it for a year, and it's been perfectly fine. So that said, you could buy a business that's going down, and then if you did nothing with it, you've really got to rush yourself to get the work done to reverse that trend, to make sure you can get that business back stable before it completely dies off and it's too far gone. So that's one, why the profit is in the purchase, but also why choosing the right business model is right for you as well. Now, once you've bought the business, there's a few things that you can do to get growth really, really, really quickly. The first thing that I like to tell people to do is not just do completely nothing with the website. That's one thing that you could do. But sometimes people go away and they can ruin the golden goose. And what I mean by this is, some people could go away and buy a website business and go, this needs to be changed and this needs to be changed. And they change a whole bunch of things. And by doing that, they may have destroyed parts of the business that were working really, really well. And they may have just corrupted a really good website business. So what I like to tell people to do is to not change anything. Don't do nothing. Identify what's working in the business, and not to change anything, but to add to what's working. For example, with a content site, if you find that a topic that is talked about on the site that are, say, top pages, and it's a category, let's say you're talking about, if the website's about fishing and they've got articles around bass fishing. If the bass fishing articles are doing really, really well, then do more of what's working by creating more bass fishing content. And that's what I would suggest you do whilst you start to own the business. And when you're going through migration, start creating more and more great content that the market is already saying they like, because it's performing quite well. And then you're still utilizing your time. And whilst you're doing that and creating more content or hiring team or whatever it is, then you're identifying and watching the site and seeing what works really, really well in the site and what doesn't work so well in the site. And after a few months, it could be 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, depending on how long you want to keep the site and how quickly you want to move. After a while, you can start to get a better idea from other websites that you may see in your space when you're doing your competitive research is what are they doing well on their sites and what are they not doing so well, and where can you lend some ideas that they're using on their site into yours to change some of the things that aren't working so well on your site. So there's some things that, now I'm talking very high and broad level. Other people like to get really, really technical with the on-page SEO, the off-page SEO, and all that sort of stuff. Of course, with the content website, the 80-20 of it is creating great content and updating existing content, so it's amazing. Then you can add backlinks to the site. You can do your own outreach. Sometimes people like to purchase backlinks. What you do is up to you. Obviously, Google does frown upon backlink building in itself and purchasing backlinks. So it's up to you what you want to do. Almost everybody in the space does it still. So that said, once you do have great content, you're churning it out and you want to grow the site, then adding backlinks is going to help you build your authority on the site, which helps you rank for higher keywords, which helps you get more traffic to the site when you're ranking for better keywords. So that's how you can grow a content website in its essence. And then there's other things you can do, like technical SEO, where you can have a technical SEO come on and change titles and meta descriptions and all these things within the site on content and on the pages that you already have that can tighten it up and make it more search engine friendly, I would say. And then, user experience. You want to make sure your site's loading really, really fast. You also want to make sure that there's lots of internal links, and you've got some, like good flows of content that flow from one article to the next article, to the next article, to the next article on a certain topic, that people can consume the content in a linear way or a linear fashion. I'm just going to check in. Who do we have here? Sandy, hello. And anybody else that's here, please drop a link in the comments and say g'day and let me know any questions that you do have. I'd love to answer your questions. Doesn't just need to be about buying and flipping content websites. It can be about owning an online business. It can be growing an online business. It can be about mindset and being an entrepreneur and things that you may need to do, or things that you may be struggling with that may be roadblocks on your journey to making an income online. So the last thing that I want to note is it's a bit of a disclaimer type thing, that when you are going to buy a website business and your intention is to flip it, grow it and flip it, and I also said the profit is in the purchase, so you want to buy really, really well. Make sure before you rush off and do anything is you know how to do due diligence. Due diligence is absolutely key. I harp on it about it so much. If you haven't already, make sure you get my due diligence framework. I'm sure most of you watching already have it. If you don't, get my due diligence framework. It's what I use and all my clients use to buy website businesses. It takes the guesswork out of doing due diligence. And people that save people hundreds of thousands of dollars in mistakes, myself included. So go away and get that. There'll be a link in all of my other videos, probably not this because it's live, and I won't spam you with it in the comments, but in every other video that I have or on my website, you can get the due diligence framework. That's it for me, guys. I guess there's no real questions. I just came on and just wanted to open up, have a bit of a spiel about how to buy, flip content websites. If you guys do have any follow-up questions, please let me know in the chat, or you can reach out to me at jared@buyingonlinebusinesses.com. I do see we still got some people here live. So if you have any questions or anything you want to drop in the chat, let me know. If it's something more personal or sensitive private, then you can reach out to me via my email, like I mentioned. That's it, guys. I hope you guys got a bunch of value from that, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.